Did you miss us? I'd like to think so. What's going on, people? It has been a minute. Welcome back to the channel. I know we are going to have a stellar cast here tonight. Don't worry. They do say lateness is greatness. This channel prides itself on lateness is greatness. So obviously, my two other guests will be making a proper entrance. But without further ado, let's focus on for now those on here. Big up the Spanish pundit Ahmad, fresh from winning the Euro. What are you saying, my bro? Haven't seen you since then, didn't I?
How's it, guys? It's been going well. Yes, after I've predicted everything right in the Euros,
Remind
um,
us about that. You just couldn't wait, no?
I had to remind you guys. I told you so, and I'm back here for another stressful season of Barcelona catching on shit.
Yeah. No, you at least won. Give it. Let's leave it at that. You at least we all 3 point
It's
collectors
off
here
to a
right
good
here.
start.
It's off to a good start now, but always good to have you back. And people, without further ado, we have a special guest tonight. A guy who I've met once, but on first telling, when you meet people, you can just tell already that, oh, real G feels like you've known him for years. Big up your Gene Talks Football. Welcome to David D TV, my bro. What you saying?
So excited to be here, my brother. It's my maiden appearance on this show, and I just wanted to be the first of many, and let's big up the community, and I'm so happy to be here.
Big up, love, man. Love for taking the time to join the channel. I know you are a very busy guy. People, you know what to
Yeah.
do. Like, share, subscribe to the thing. The link to Eugene's channel is in the description and it is on the tab right across your screen. So click on the link in the description and in the title. I won't even take you away from the stream. So yeah, show him some love, man. But yeah, let's get straight into it. We already late. Lateness is greatness. Where does one begin? You know what? Let's begin with Arsenal, of course. Let's begin at home. They say charity begins at home. So let's start with the opening day of the Prem. I'll start with my thoughts first, and I'll obviously go on to you guys. What you guys might have. But my thinking was there wasn't really much surprises. Obviously, in the beginning, there will be, of course, teams finding their feet. Players are still looking a bit rusty, that type of thing. So obviously, you're not going to get per se high scoring games like your Villa versus Newcastle last season, obviously. So but everyone, I don't think there were much surprises. Liverpool picking up a 2-0 victory, Arsenal picking up a 2-0 victory, which we will touch on now. United picking up a victory, left it late as well. Chelsea and City picking up a routine win, of course. Spurs, we will touch on when Bram joins them. But Eugene, what did you make of the game against Wolves? Talk to me, brother, and Ahmad, you as well.
First of all, the wait for the Premier League season took forever. Knowing that it only took 3 months, but for football fans, it took forever. But at last, it came back last weekend, and we all saw the game at the Emirates against Wolverhampton Wanderers. At some point, it looked to be a very, very difficult game for Arsenal, but we managed to get it over the line. Goals from Havertz and Bukayo Saka saw us get the 3 points comfortably. Although Wolves, they posed to be a very difficult threat to us in some areas of the game, but at the end, we managed to get it over the line, and that's what is very important. There's a saying that you start off as you mean to go on, and I'm glad that we got the 3 points.
Fair enough. Like you said, no one will remember. None of us, I don't think any of us will remember the opening day. It's all like how you end. I mean, like even last year, we took it to the final day, but none of us were talking about the game against Nottingham Forest. What I want to ask you is, Eugene, what did you make
Yeah.
of Zinchenko starting at left back? And Thomas Partey, for me, started well in the first half, but second half, for me personally, it looked like that was a different player. It looked like it was he swapped skins with his uncle because it looked like he was 65 while playing. I don't know what they put in his water. It was like they gave him Horlicks. You remember Horlicks, that drink that your parents used to give you to go to sleep? That was like Horlicks, and Horlicks tastes like sand with hot water. But and I feel like that left side is a position of contention because it was a weakness for us. But what did you make of it? What did you make of Zinchenko, Partey? It's actually two positions this weekend, which I would make changes for Villa because it is a massive game. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I believe that every single Arsenal fan out there is critical of Zinchenko's defensive abilities, and he got a lot of criticism from Arsenal fans last season due to the fact that he was the weak link, you know, uh, through our defense last season. But if you watched preseason games of Arsenal this season, Zinchenko has put off a lot of good performances, especially going forward. His inversion rate, contribution to the midfield and the attack going forward. And I think that Mikel Arteta has deployed a tactic such that there are games where he has to select Zinchenko because our major strength this season and since Arteta took charge of Arsenal has been the defense, you know, and we need to offer more power going forward, and that's what Zinchenko offers. But that game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think Zinchenko played really well. I don't think that there are much times where he gave possession away or he was the weak link in that game. And albeit Mikel Arteta had to sub him off late in the second half. And I think that that's the tactics that Mikel Arteta has deployed this season. And talking about Thomas Partey, remember that earlier on in this transfer window, there are speculations that Partey would be leaving Arsenal. And I'm not too confident that we're going to be allowing Partey to be our major defensive midfield option this season. And that's why we are looking to strengthen that midfield area in Mikel Merino. Is it going to be that preferred defensive midfield option that we need? It only remains to be seen. But I think that late into that game against Wolves, you see that Thomas Partey was misplacing passes, and also losing possessions. So it's just the beginning of the season, and it's a marathon. There are 37 games to go. So I don't think that Thomas Partey, bearing in mind his age, I don't think that he's that player that we need in that pivot. Because for me, I've said in the past that Declan Rice, it's not a 6. A lot of people have argued with me. If you looked at the season from the beginning where Declan Rice was operating as our lone 6, there wasn't enough going forward in terms of the midfield. And it really affected Martinelli. I don't know if I'm talking too much. Going past
No,
the topic.
100%. Carry on, Bram. Go wait. Sorry, Eugene. Sorry. Just Bram, you asked the question. Bram, welcome to the show. How are you, my brother?
I am wonderful, guys.
Do you want to maybe tell our guests what's we only have one rule on the podcast. Do you maybe want to tell our guests what's that one rule on the pod?
There's no rules.
Exactly. So carry on, my brother. Carry on.
Okay, yeah. Firstly, I just want to greet the viewers. Sorry, guys, for being late. But under the weather.
Shame, man.
Monday night scores that. Monday night scores that I'm under the weather.
Don't worry, we're coming to you. Don't worry, we're coming to you.
I'm livid. I'm still livid. But
don't worry, we're coming to you. I've got a special. We got a special segment.
Eugene, nice
carry
to
on,
meet you. So yeah, go for it, Eugene.
Carry on, Eugene. Carry on. You finish.
We must apologize for coming late.
Lateness is greatness.
You see? There you go. Carry on, Eugene. You can wrap up you were talking about your point, Landon.
Okay, so you see, when the moment Arteta deployed Declan Rice in the left 8 position, he offered so much going forward in terms of assists and goals. So I believe that with the potential addition of Mikel Merino, I think that we still need a formidable defensive midfield, because games like the one against Wolverhampton Wanderers will repeat itself throughout the season. And that can be a weak link apart from Zinchenko's position. And talking about Zinchenko, I don't think that that's going to pose a problem with the addition of Calafiori and Urian Timber coming back to fitness. So I think that's a solution for that position in the meantime.
Fair enough. Couldn't agree with him. I'll come to Bram now because there's a topic with regards to Arsenal which I want to touch on. But Ahmad, Eugene has mentioned Mikel Merino, and obviously, you being the Spanish expert yourself, and Tai will join later as well. There's a lot going on at Real Sociedad right now with Zubamendi obviously rejecting Liverpool, and now Mikel Merino. I just don't understand. I don't know how Eugene feels, but why is it taking so damn long? What? I don't understand.
It's it's Arsenal. It's not from their side. It's Arsenal side. So Arsenal has too much. But I don't know. It's the way they negotiate. I've seen it happen in the transfer window, and I'm sure, Dave, we spoke about this. We're like, Arsenal just takes forever to get a deal done, and then you get Chelsea on the
Yes,
other hand, who's signing 5 players in one day, and then Arsenal take one transfer window to sign 2 players.
It sucks the life out of the transfer. You know, you could be announced. You could be like this morning. I woke up and my girlfriend said to me, Marino closing in or whatever. I said, Marino's been closing in for how many weeks already? Yeah, they could announce him today. I won't even be excited anymore. It sucks the life out of me. Big up Guna Matters as well.
But
People
go
going.
I think you answered your Thomas Partey problem.
It's done already. By the way, it's done. Fabrizio Romano has released.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah,
here we go. Yeah, it's done. You know, the earlier
so
on
here
in
we
the
go.
week,
There we
the
land. It's
president of
done.
Real Sociedad announced that it was down to Arsenal. It was always the players' intention to move to Arsenal. If they were just playing a waiting game, until Edu, Arsenal sporting director, flew to Spain to complete. It was all about finalizing on the deal. There was a disagreement. They weren't reaching a conclusion as to the fee for the player. Real Sociedad were holding out for a particular amount, which Arsenal were not ready to pay, including the structure as well. But at last, a fee has been agreed, and he's.
It was also the bonuses that were set in place. I think the bonuses played a big role. The certain bonuses that were set in place that was going that had a back and forth within the deal. But Marino always wanted to go. And
of course,
and for the style of football that Arsenal plays, especially from what we've seen with Wolverhampton, I know you guys have issues. I, from an outsider, personally enjoy the type of football that Arsenal plays and the way that the ball is being moved. I think it fits him. And if you complain about Partey, then that's your answer. Because we've all seen what he's done in the Euros. For those of us who watch the Liga, we've seen what he's done. He is that good. He's control the ball. He's the way he brings a sense of strongness to the midfield that you didn't thought you needed up until you see him play. It's the same thing when I watched Spain play, and I was like, there's better midfielders out there, but when you watch him play, he brings a different calmness to the game that you didn't thought you needed. You can go without it, but once you have it, you don't want to let go of it. So you guys are going to enjoy him, really. You guys are going to enjoy him. Just give him time.
I hope so.
I've profiled him a lot. You know, he offers so much in terms of general play. You know, Mikel Arteta's preference for versatility, you know, is a critical example of a versatile player in terms of his defensive ability, in terms of contribution to goals, assists, and all of that. He's going to be an exciting player for Arsenal.
Yes, I know more.
I agree.
Governor, I want to come on to you. Your team has signed the striker, which we will touch on. Firstly, before we even get there, big up Guna Matters in the chat, people. Go and subscribe to that channel. Please, don't worry, Guna Matters. I know us. We've been saying it for a while. We are definitely going to do that show. It might even be in next week to preview Liverpool versus United. So don't go anywhere, my bro. But Bram, back to you. You guys have signed the striker. You know, I've been talking about Arsenal needing a striker, an attacker, and that per se. But Eugene mentioned Martinelli. What do you think about Martinelli at this moment in time? And do you think Arsenal will get that attacker? Would it be a winger per se? Because I see we're all linked with Adamola Lukman. Or is it still the striker or no title for Arsenal this season for you?
For me, Arsenal favourites to win the Premier League. I see
I'm
them
gonna
as
disagree
favourites.
with that. But anyway,
I think you disagree just so that you don't, if it doesn't happen, that you don't face with failure.
no,
Um,
I'll tell you why. Don't worry, carry on. I'll tell you why. Carry on.
and I just feel that Arsenal, firstly with Martinelli, I feel that often we expect players to be 9 out of 10 every single game, right?
Mm,
If we go through the history books, if you take example, I'm going to use Frank Lampard's career. Frank Lampard was not a 9 out of 10 his entire footballing career. I'd probably say the last 7 years of his career at Chelsea, yes. Frank Lampard before that was a 5, average player. Okay. Then also in terms of Martinelli this season, Martinelli is a threat. You remove Martinelli
yeah,
from your side, Trossard
I'm gonna argue
is
Trossard is a
Trossard,
better
Trossard,
finisher.
Trossard, Trossard is a better finisher. Trossard is an impact player. Trossard is an impact player for Arsenal, and he's bought him for just that. Make an impact when you come on. Right? It's the same with Son. Son was always at his best as an impact player for Spurs. Son was never a great starter for us. Pochettino never rated him as a starter till he grew into becoming a starter. Right? And I think if Trossard grows into that, eventually you offload Martinelli. But
yeah.
for now, also not going to look to offload Martinelli, and people should stop expecting him to be a 9 out of 10. Saka last
I
year
agree.
was Saka last year was, if you summed up the entire season, he had a very good season, but there were times when Saka was not at his best. But if you took him off or you didn't play him, Arsenal would be kind of viewed as being under strength or weakened as such. Because they give stability to your team. You can either take them off for being poor, but would you run the risk of not playing Martinelli at the moment? You wouldn't.
Nah.
Silly. You'd be
Mm,
a fool to say, let's replace him with Trossard right now. Okay? It would be a risk. And you take it would be a risk. Arteta would take, and Arteta would have the world on his shoulders if it is that Arsenal don't win a game because he decided to drop Martinelli. Then, in terms of do you need a goal scoring striker? I think history just proves you do need a, a goal scoring striker. You do. You literally do need one because I haven't found a team that has won the Premier League without someone scoring 20 plus goals or being a 20 plus goal scorer that won games. Remember the year Berbatov scored over 20 goals, but he scored like there was 3 games where he scored hat tricks, and the one game he scored 4 goals.
He scored
Yeah,
four,
but
five. It
it's
was
not
five.
like
It was five. He scored
it's
five
not
against Blackburn.
5 against someone. So
yeah.
it's not like his
Five
Blackburn.
against
goals
Blackburn,
were
yeah.
it's not like his goals was the winner in the 3-2 year, the winner in the 2-1 year. No, it was he scored in clumps, but he still scored 20 goals a season. So I think Arsenal do need a striker. I still believe that Arsenal are going to silently knock on the door with Ivan Toney. Um,
I,
I know
No
you said you don't
chance.
see it happening.
I can't see it.
I know
I
you see
can't
it
see it
not
happening.
happening. But like you said, the market is dead. Who is it to go and get? Who is it literally to go and get
Victor
as a
Osimhen.
striker?
Victor Gyökeres. I'll take a risk on him.
I don't rate Osimhen at all. I don't rate
I
him.
don't rate him, but he's
Uh,
available.
I don't rate him because I don't think he'll stand up to the physicality of the Premier League. To be honest with you,
He can't. If he was stopped by a 16-year-old Kubarsi, then yeah,
but
he
but
will.
yeah,
How's he
just
going to
just
go
so
against Saliba?
just to finish off. Also, you guys said earlier Arsenal take very long to conclude deals. What I appreciate about Arsenal is it's simple. Do you want to be here? If you don't want to be here, um, we're gonna try what we can to get you here, but we're not gonna prolong it. I don't think it was Arsenal delaying the Mourinho deal. I think there was a lot of red tape around the deal, but I think the player wants to come, and Arsenal knew that the player wanted to come because, like I always said to you, if Arsenal go in for a player, v Chelsea and v Spurs, there is the highest likelihood the player chooses Arsenal over both of those clubs.
Yeah,
If Arsenal go for a player, it's done. It's done. The player comes. The player goes. I I know the Ronaldo story, track history, and Ibrahimovic. But those are bygone eras where there was
Hmm.
plenty full of players around that you could do that. In this current climate that we're in, when Arsenal goes for someone, it's done. So I think as you guys mentioned, Marino signed for Arsenal now, deals getting principal. I think the guy long time wanted to come. There was just a lot of red tape around. The conclusion and Premier League clubs are very now when it comes to signings, they first go and check the record books. Like just go and check the data. Can we buy? Can't we buy? What does the book say? What does the accountant say? Is because of the fact that the what's the right word to say? Like how sensitive it is around transfers in the UK at the moment, around fair play and all of those stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Couldn't agree with you more. Look, and Aslam touched on it as well with regards to the Zubamendi deal. Ty, welcome, my brother. How are you? Are you good? You good?
Nice to see you guys. Thank you for the warm welcome,
Lovely to see
Debbie.
you.
Oh, nice entrance there. But you came in at the
Thank you so
right
much,
time
man.
actually, because
Good to see you again,
look,
Bram.
Same here,
look,
man. Same here. Lovely seeing you guys.
Bram thinks that Arsenal are the favorites. I disagree. I think City are the favorites now because I would go so far as to say that with the signing of Savinho and Gundogan,
Sure.
that's a massive. So I would say the attack got better. If you look at the PFA team of the year came out this year, we got our goalkeepers there, our centre back pairing is there, two of our midfielders are there. But the front line, we don't have anyone there. And yes, we have scored a abundance of goals last year, but I again am looking at the fact that in the big games when you need a killer, if I look at only 6 games off the top of my head, Bayern Munich home and away. Havertz, who was our number 9, did not score. Liverpool home and
Yeah.
away. No goal by Havertz. Man City home and away. Yes, Kai got an assist, but no goal again. Not one goal home and away. That's 6 games I just mentioned to you off the top of my head. So for me, I think in the big games you need that killer. Haaland was the difference against Chelsea. Haaland was the difference against Spurs. Ollie Watkins was the difference against us. But how do you feel about it, Ty? Just before we jump on to the next topic, which is Spurs, I actually want to have a solid chat about that. But how do you
Yeah,
see it now?
before that answers, David, to be honest with you, VAR cost you the Premier League last year. I just
I'm
think
not
that
having that. I'm
when
not
you
having that. Everyone gets on.
when you
Everyone
look at
gets on the wrong side of
Yeah.
VAR, my brother.
Yeah.
if when we
Yeah.
talk about Champions
Uh,
League and performances, sorry, Ty, just 1 second. Champions League and being set to win the Champions League and winning the Premier League, I think it's just two totally different factors, scenarios, mentalities to do. So I wouldn't judge Arsenal's players on their failure in the Champions League last year because it was the first time in quite a number of years Arsenal back in the Champions League. I think Arsenal this year will be probably slightly different, but I still don't think they will win the Champions League. As far
Now
as
we
the
will.
Premier League is concerned, you've got more teams in England scared of facing Arsenal what you have teams in Europe are facing Arsenal.
Hmm.
If I can sum it up like that.
True. I know what you mean, but again, it's not VAR's fault that we lost to Fulham. It's not VAR's fault that we drew with Fulham at home. It's not VAR's fault that we lost to West Ham. You know, can you see? It's not VAR's fault that we lost to
But
Villa at the Emirates. Yes.
The Newcastle
Sorry.
game,
I blame the defending. You play to the whistle. You don't wait. Yes, the ball went out, but you play to the whistle. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
play to the whistle, but Ty, Land, my brother, talk to me. How do you see this title race going?
Tell me,
Because the
answer the
way I
question.
see it, we need a striker, honestly.
Honestly, D, I couldn't agree with you more. Like the thing is, Arsenal, they are genuinely like, let's say, this close to being my all-out winners this season. Because the thing is, your squad is at this point in time, it's almost perfect. And the thing that you just need is a player that knows that I'm gonna play defensive mid and I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna defend a bitchy. And at the same time, you need a striker. That's the thing. It's genuinely the one thing that it's so weird. It's almost like when you go to Barca and the team is crying out, "We need a left wing. We need a left wing." The club goes and signs a new attacking, but now this morning we linked with another right back. Whereas it's like, hey, we just need this one position. Now it's the exact same thing with Arsenal. The only thing you guys need is an out and out striker. Gabriel, is a good signing, but at the same time, you can see that that's just not his position. It's the same thing like when you see Chelsea trying to when they're trying to Goy Kunku as the number 9 and stuff, and you're like, nah, that just doesn't work. His main position is just behind it. That's where you're gonna get the best out of him. Arsenal needs a striker. It's literally as simple as that. That's the main thing. And Bradley. And the thing is, I will honestly say Arsenal will be unstoppable if you guys can sign one striker that can guarantee you 20 goals. He's just going to be there to finish the chances. I definitely do think at this point in time, any striker that Arsenal goes for, it's going to make a difference in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the thing. It's like even if you want to play the Haaland way at Man City, where they don't expect him to do much other than when we give you the ball, we just want you to get up a shot and score. When we cross the ball, and we just want you to head and score. That's literally all you need from your striker. And then Arsenal, with the players that you have, the wingers that you have, the full-backs that you guys are playing with. I love this thing with the centre-backs that's playing out because it gives you extra cover at the back. You have a good squad. If you can just get one player that will bury chances, you guys will be unstoppable. And that's the thing. It's really just the thing of I don't understand why the club is why the club was thinking over Nketiah last season. Maybe Nketiah is going to be the striker. Then you guys are tying Gabriel Jesus there. And then it's like now it's Kai Havertz there. And the thing is also it's like you're trying to fit other players into this position. When Arsenal clearly has money, you clearly have people that you can go after. And the thing is, why not just take a gamble? Why not just go after a striker? That's the main thing. Just someone that can come in and banging goals. That's all Arsenal needs.
And do you know what? I agree with you there. Arsenal at the moment is like Madrid, right? And we're not going to get into the Jude Bellingham debate, etc., blah, blah, blah. But it's a case of if Jude Bellingham went to Man United, would his portfolio be like it is now?
No.
You know?
No,
Would the guy that scored the flop that played for Sunderland, that got the winner of the semi-final of the Champions League last year,
Oslo.
retired. Exactly.
It
It was in Newcastle, sorry, not
Was a
Sunderland.
Newcastle, Oslo.
yeah.
You know, so the point I'm making is if Arsenal was to bring in they might as well fetch Harry Kane and he will get them a lot of goals. If they sign Ollie Watkins, the type of striker that he is, Arsenal will win the Premier League.
Yeah.
He'll finish the goals.
Definitely.
He'll finish the goals,
Yeah.
and he scores vital goals for Villa when it's needed most. Right? Like I said, just if you went and made a move for Ollie Watkins is a London boy, right? Ollie Watkins went and said, okay, Villa will probably be tough now to deal with. I think he's talking now, we probably came to 75 mil. But if Arsenal went and said 60, I'm sure his head will be turned. He's got more chance of winning a trophy with Arsenal than he has with Aston Villa.
Exactly. Fair enough. Look, they still have time in the window. I will rant and rave once the window's done. There's still a week more to go, so I'll save judgment until then. Yeah, but let's come on. We've chatted like a whole half an hour. I think that's the longest we've ever spoken about Arsenal for a while on this channel. But let's address the elephant in the room. Bram, what happened? Explain.
That's a
Tottenham
root
won.
elephant.
No, I didn't call you the elephant. I mean, there is a big old elephant called Jamie Vardy here. No, boys. Yeah, that's set up. There's a big old elephant called Jamie Vardy here in the room. Give me your summary of the game because now all jokes aside, I thought you guys I thought you guys played well. And I'm not blowing smoke up your I knew exactly you were gonna say that. No, let me finish. Let me finish what I'm gonna say. I thought you guys did well. We're playing some decent football. You wasted.
David, give me the heat you would if it was a derby game tomorrow. Give me the heat you would give me. Give me the heat you give me after you beat us in the derby. Because it's
that's different. That's different. That only happens like once or twice a year. That's different. That's different.
Listen.
Look, it is the first game, Bram. It's the first game. So give me your thoughts.
A sign of things to come.
Yeah, definitely a sign of things to come. The we played well part is last year's song. Because I think in a lot of games, even when times were bad, there were periods in the game where we outplayed teams, like literally outplayed them. Even the 4-2 defeat at Anfield last year, there was a 15-20 minute spell. The football we played in that 20 minutes was better than Liverpool played in the entire game, right? But Liverpool won the game. But I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the you played well because it's becoming a joke. Jamie Vardy's
Yeah.
point that he made that hurts the fans. But Daniel Levy should take all the flack for that because you know why? You are the reason that we've never ever had a chance again of winning the Premier League. We were so close, so close. What Arsenal have today, we had under Pochettino. And all he needed was, like Davy says, I just need a striker. My fear for you, Davy. You're going to be in 2 years' time saying, if we only just had bought a striker, we would have won the league again.
Yeah.
Exactly. 100%.
If
We
we-
said that when what Giro, I don't know if Eugene can remember that time with Giro as well.
Yeah. If we only had
Yeah,
just
yeah.
and that the year we came second to Chelsea in the Premier League, because we came third, second, third. If we only just had strengthened the squad like Pochettino wanted, the players he wanted, we would have won the Premier League. I believe we would have won the Premier League. If Levy didn't chase money to throw down White Hart Lane, we would have won the Premier League the next year. I'm convinced of it. And we're going to the season now. He bought the striker. Is Solanke really what Spurs needs at this point in time? Time
He's
will
not
tell.
bad.
The goals he missed the other night, he's probably not used to getting so many
Okay,
chances in a game.
let's
I think the pressure is on him. I
Then
think the
again,
more
if you
pressure. I
think
think
about it,
yeah.
I was
The pressure
sorry,
is
what I was
The
going to
thing
say
with
was, if you
Spurs
think
is this.
about it, it's the exact same thing like the question that we just had with Arsenal. The first question that we asked is, Arsenal needs to sign a striker, and who are they going to get? That's the first question. It's like, we need a striker that's going to bang in goals. Technically, I was shocked when Tottenham signed Solanke, but then when I actually thought about it, I was like, there could be some brilliance in this. They paid a lot. You guys paid a lot for him. But
50 odd mil, isn't it?
realistically, if you can't get
65.
Ollie Watkins, 65. If you can't get Ollie Watkins because he wants to go down this journey with Emery now, if you can't get an Ivan Toney because they're gonna price him out, if you can't get a Osman because he's because they're really planning a different move, then it's like, who else is really there? Who else is a good option that you have that you can go for? I mean, Man United had to go for a Phyllis Joshua Xerxes, whereas it's like, okay, Solanke
the man
scored so
scored.
many goals last season. He looks really good.
The man scored.
One's bad.
That man is not going to get more
The
than
thing
5
with
goals
this-
this whole season. I can
I
guarantee
agree
you
with
that.
Tony. He's
True.
bad.
I agree
Go
with
ahead,
that.
Eugene. Go ahead, Eugene.
The thing with this current sports squad is the manager. Okay, now football has transcended beyond good football. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
A manager comes to the club and deploys his tactics, and that's it.
System.
He has just plan A. You know, playing good football, playing in possession, all out attack. You know, and when you are caught in possession and that's it, you crumble. You don't have a plan B. That's the
100%
problem with
agree with you.
Ange. You know,
I
in
agree
the
with you.
first half, Spurs should have run away with 3 goals already. You know, so it's the mentality. It's the mentality he built in the team. There's just plan A, and when they find themselves in trouble, they find it difficult to get out of it because there is no plan B. You understand? And that's just the problem with Spurs. Good, he has
That's true
brought
what
in
you're
good
saying,
football
Eugene.
to Spurs. They're playing exciting football,
No, I agree.
free flow
I
football.
agree
When
with
they are in attack, you know, they always, when they are going forward, they look like they're going to score. You understand? But that plan B to change your tactics and find a way to win games, find a way to kill games off, he doesn't have it, unfortunately.
I think Solanke does give us that plan B, right? Because he's a target man as well. We haven't had someone like that
Solanke,
who's tried to play football.
Look, listen, I am not pleased with Solanke's debut at all. It was like he was just trying to get his shot on target.
He just shot on
You know,
target.
he was
Everything
not-
went straight. I agree with that.
Just want to get his shot on target, just
No,
want to,
definitely.
you know, he
Definitely,
wasn't
yes.
really in the game like he wants to score. He wants fans to see that at least I got a shot on target. Is that what Spurs want from their striker? You paid 65 million pounds for.
And that's why I said that I don't think he was used to having so many chances in such a short space
Yeah.
of time that
Mm.
he looked rush every time we got the ball to him in an area in the box. But there was a lot of positives about his game, and I think he gives us a plan B where if we were to become direct and change the way that we play, he can hold the ball up. Right? Richarlison can't hold. I don't think Richarlison can hold his foot in, let alone hold the ball up. Um, so for me, again, I blame Ange fully for Monday night. 25, 30 minutes to go. Kulusevski had to come on. The two youngsters that came on changed the pace of the game. Sar's legs was gone. We could have avoided Bentancur's injury because his legs was gone before that as well.
Sports will
And he
always
just
be
didn't do
sports.
that. He just didn't do that. And I'm amazed. And he gives us great interview after the game of there were so many positives. We drew last year, our first game as well. What does that mean?
Mm.
What does that
And we
mean?
were top of the league after 10 games.
You still came second. Though. Why are you laughing?
He's enjoying this. He's loving this. You see, I'm the diplomatic one. You see. But look,
You can't blame him. You can't blame him.
It is,
You
the,
can't
it is the
blame him.
history. It is the history of Tottenham. You always bottle it.
look, but
Shut up.
Bram, you asked me a
Nah,
very good question. You asked me a very good question on Tuesday, I think it was. And I want to flip it on you. What do you think Spurs need? Because surely you, obviously, I know you want a trophy and, of course, a top four finish. That is the objective. But what do you think Spurs need to get to that?
We need experience. And laugh. People may laugh when I say this. I would go and sign Jordan Henderson from Ajax.
Fuck me. Snowman.
I'll,
That's
I'll
a,
tell you.
that's a
That's
Why.
wild take, you.
other kind of a shout.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
why
that's
I
a
say so.
wild take.
Wait, hang on. I'll tell you why I say so. I'm not saying that he needs to replace any of our current midfielders in the starting 11. Not at all. Right? But Eugene mentioned something. Without the ball, Spurs. Without the ball, and you have Jordan Henderson, all he knows how to do is to protect the back four. We don't need him to pass to anybody, protect the back four. He's better than what we have to do that job. He could come on for us or even play 45 to 50 minutes. He would be better at protecting us than what we have at the moment. Right? To be a squad player, to have his experience in and around our team is vital. What experience does the players in our team have? Who do they look at when it comes to closing of games? Who's going to carry the team when it comes to closing of games? We needed to
But then again,
we needed to kill that game off. Even
Mm.
at 1-0. If we took the 1-0 and had a poor performance and we went away and we got the 3 points, who does he bring on
Mhm.
to carry us through the next 30 minutes in the game? Nobody.
That's
He brought
exactly
on
my
2
point.
youngsters. You understand? Nobody. At least with you guys now, Davey, you've got Declan Rice. If you took him off, you've got Partey, you've got guys that got some kind of, they've been around in that squad for a bit of a while now to be able to do that. But I think you also lack a serial winner, maybe in the midst in your team, you know? And that's what's lacking. And look at City. Would it make sense to go
Coutinho.
and take Gundogan of 32-year-old? He knows why he's doing that. He's let go of Ares. He let go of Jesus. He let go of Jacinto. He let go of Sterling. He's got the brainer. Well, maybe does he want to be there or not? But Gundogan is going to secure the brainer stays and bring out the best in the brainer now, right?
I also feel that.
Gundogan is not necessarily going to replace Kovacic in midfield. But if he brings him on with 30 minutes to go in a game,
He's,
City see the game out.
exactly. No, I agree full on with that. That's which is why that I didn't want that signing to happen. One thing I love this comment from Aslam, and I'm gonna sound like a bit of a dinosaur. He says, guys, we gotta be honest, there isn't those kind of strikers anymore. Real signed a 70-year-old striker thinking he's gonna be the next best thing. Our clubs won't do that, and that's too late. Now I'm gonna sound like a dinosaur now. I mean, like, we've all been watching football for a very long time. And the fact that we could only mention what 3 strikers right now. I've heard Isak, which is not gonna happen. I've heard Tony. I've heard Ollie
Tony,
Watkins, whatever.
Watkins.
Compared to back in the day, and again, like I said, I'm sounding like an old dinosaur. We had an array of strikers. The striker market is even dead, bro. I mean, Bram, you spoke about Solanke, and the pressure from playing for Spurs, who's going for top 4, and playing for Bolton is Bournemouth is two totally different things. Chalk and cheese. Do you know what I mean?
It's
I agree.
I think it's also a fact of if you look at the market, it's not. Yes, it's less, but I mean, there's good strikers out there that's willing to leave. It's a money game. Look at Letty. Julian Alvarez was going to go
That's what I was
nowhere.
gonna say,
Nobody
yeah.
thought to bid for Julian Alvarez. Then Letty's like, years 90 plus, with everything added on, give me Alvarez. And suddenly City was like,
Yeah.
okay, here you go. But not Arsenal thought to do that, not Tottenham thought to do that, and they have the money to do it. Nobody thought, let's make a bid for Alvarez. Nobody in world football thought, we're going to take Julian Alvarez from City. Everybody knew that he's not playing much football, knew that he possibly might go, but nobody dared to make the bid. And Atleti came and said, give it. So at the end of the day, if you have the money, then you can go for it.
Look, to be fair, this is where I'm actually going to cover up for my team is that I don't think Pep will sell us any more of his players because they're strengthening our rival. I don't think Pep will even sell us a virus right now.
They
He even
don't
said it
mind
once.
because they don't have an impact.
That's the thing. I don't think he will sell us any of his players. So yeah. But let's. I don't know. Do you guys want to chat about Chelsea right now as well? Signing João Felix. What's happening at Chelsea?
That is a strange debacle because Ty knows
Exactly.
how we feel about João Felix.
Yeah, that's why I have you
Yeah.
see it.
The
You
laziest
saw the
player
line
on the
before you
pitch.
to be.
Your goalkeeper will do more running than he does.
What if he bangs? You never know.
Nah, the thing is with
See-
João Felix, you can. It's very sad to say this, but you can actually see when he. Remember, I genuinely thought he was gonna bang it in for Barca last season because of the fact that he said I always dreamt of playing for Barca. But when you that player saying I've dreamt to play with this team, then the first game that you play, you scaling about the fact that you must also help out and defend a bit. You scaling about the fact that this isn't your best position and you want to play here, and then on the pitch. He decides he wants to go from this side to another. He tells the players, you go that side, I'm going to go here. Only to do nothing for the rest of the game. Unfortunately, he is one of those players that broke onto the scene, had a quiet season in Portugal. They slapped this price tag on him, and then he could just never, ever live up to the hype. João Felix has, ever since he left Benfica, he's never had a good season. And that's the thing. It's the reason why we think he should be that is because we called him the next Ronaldo. Because we think, okay, he's only 24 years old. Because of the fact that he still plays for Portugal sometimes. And the fact that he paid 120 million for him. That's why we assume that he must still have this good player in him. He hasn't had a season where the most goals that he scored ever since he left Benfica was 12 goals in a season. And that's the striker that they were complaining. They were saying, yeah, we still want 70 million for him. That's the thing. It's like he can chip in with a few goals here and there, but ultimately the structure at Chelsea now is not perfect. I honestly, if I was him, I would have taken the move to Aston Villa because there at least I can see a place for him in this Chelsea team where technically, let's say he wants to play in his favorite position, which is just behind the striker. That's what he says. He's literally competing with Cole Palmer and Nkunku in there for that position. Now, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but like I don't think he's gonna make into that team. So then what's he gonna do? He's gonna go over to left wing. Now he's gonna complain again the same way he did at Barca. So I genuinely think the reason why that entire deal happened was because Chelsea had a player in Conor Gallagher who wanted to leave the club. They couldn't agree terms because Atletico Madrid needed to get rid of a player first in order in order to bring him in.
It's the same thing what happened with us.
So they can go with the wage thing. Yeah, because it's because of the wage structure in the league. So the only way they could do it was like, okay, let's give you a player. Now Samu Omarodion couldn't go there because he failed his medical. So it's like, okay, who else do you guys want in our squad? And it's like, okay, João Felix is available. Take João Felix. It's technically for them, they see it as a win-win situation. But for Chelsea, they actually losing out on a solid player in Conor Gallagher, and now they're taking João Felix who they really don't need.
Nah, say no more, man. No
Whereas
problem.
same thing with Chelsea. The same argument that we had also earlier on. I mean, the same conversation we were just speaking about now. Chelsea's another one of the teams that really just needs a clinical striker in their squad. And to bring it back quickly, just for like a second, the thing like the thing is there is strikers that is there in world football, but the thing is now we currently in a time where it's not as easy to get in a good striker anymore. Back at if you're thinking about this, if this was 2008 and Ollie Watkins just banged in those goals, why would Ollie Watkins ever say no to Arsenal? Why would Ivan Toney ever say no to Arsenal's after me? Yeah, I'm gonna go there definitely. But now we're living in a time where a player like Ollie Watkins is excited, like, yay, Aston Villa, the fans love me here. We're gonna play in the Champions League. They're gonna love this. We're living in a time now where Nico Williams will say no to Barcelona because he wants to stay at Athletic Bilbao. Where you have a player that Victor Osimhen could have made a move a year and a half ago, but now he's looking at other ones. He's like, hey, maybe I must take this move to Saudi Arabia. Maybe this is gonna be quiet for me. So
And even
unfortunately now,
Tony's head's been turned by that Saudi Arabia, no?
you see.
Yeah,
So the
I mean,
only
Saudi's
thing
been
now is
knocking on
now you
everybody's
get a
door.
I have
time
a
where
question. I have a question.
Julian
I have a
Alvarez moves to
question for you,
Atletico
brother.
Madrid.
You're a Chelsea fan, right? You're a Chelsea fan, right?
No,
Hey,
it's a
No, I'm not
Barcelona
Julian. I'm a Barca fan.
It's my brother, this my Spanish
Oh.
brother.
Oh, okay. So you're Chelsea.
Just before you go, Eugene, just before Bram, I just want to big Bram is struggling with the flu there on that side. I don't wanna put him. He's struggling. He told me he's got to jump. So, Bram, I just want to get your prediction before we actually even jump onto it. Arsenal, Aston Villa. Just give me a score.
I'm going to one Arsenal.
Wow. Spurs, Everton.
3-1 Spurs.
There we go. Now, such talk I like. And your final thoughts, my brother. Once again, love for jumping on. Wow, with flu and he still jumped on you. Yo, get well soon, man.
Look,
Well,
I just feel that we haven't seen the best of Liverpool yet. Liverpool is my dark horses to win the Premier League this season. They're still coming together. They're still gelling. They're still putting the team together, right? I know the club factor is going to, at some point in the season, going to show its head. But I think if we spoke about squads that is got complete cover up front, that's them. They've got a striker of Nunes sitting on the bench, and they'll easily put Nunes on the pitch and put Jota on the bench. They've got Cody Gakpo, Salah, Luis. They've really got it covered as far as their attacking options are concerned. So for me, I'm keen to see their progress, Liverpool, under this new coach. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting Premier Leagues that we've had in a long time. Everybody's out Arsenal winning the league, or how well do you handle the expectation of winning the league? Is City the same team? I kind of get. I just see Pep as being just. I'm enjoying my last season. If this is my last season, I've done it all before. I'm gonna leave. I don't see that in him where, like, you know what this is. I have a point to prove. I kind of seem like I've proved my point already. I'm gonna go out play football the way I came in is the way I'm gonna go out in England. So I'm looking forward to the fixtures this weekend. But Barcelona, I've had a sudden interest in watching them every week now. I was actually amped to watch them the other night. So yeah, I'll continue to watch Barca this weekend. But Chelsea, Pascal, I hope you get battered once again.
That's a bit.
Play no more. Love for jumping on, my bro. Hope
See you,
to.
gentlemen.
I love, man.
Get well soon, Bram.
Get well soon, Bram.
Bye.
No, but look, I agree with him honestly. Like if Liverpool had gotten Zubamendi, things would have gotten very serious because I think that is what they're lacking as well. But you never know, the window's still open as well. Let's jump on to Barcelona with you and Ahmad. Got off to a nice start. Valencia 2-1. Lewandowski coming up clutch, and then of course Madrid drawing the next night. What did you make of the La Liga weekend that went by? Just before we come into the weekend preview.
Honestly, it was actually other than the Barca result, it went away, but like I was just expecting a better performance, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Like there was just a couple of things that was lacking, and that was the stuff that like I just looked at and I was like, hey, if we don't sort that out, that's gonna be an issue next week. But the thing is, from watching the other games in the league and stuff, it was really exciting. So the same way Bram said, this is going to be an exciting season in the Premier League. In the Spanish league, it's definitely going to be one that's exciting because you have Real Madrid that's still busy figuring out the squad. You have you have other teams that really going to be pushing it. The fact that Atletico went and they signed Julian Alvarez. The fact that if you look at their team now, you would say that their squad is just
it was
like
scary.
there's a possibility you could say like you could even say it's a level above bosses because that's how player
Yeah.
for player, they have a solid team. And now you still have other teams that's also trying to come back into the picture. Like honestly, guys, just watch what Valencia's going to do this season under their coach. Oh, they're playing
They played
brilliant
well.
football. They were
I'll
unlucky
tell you
not
what,
to win against
Lovely
us.
football.
they played well.
What'd you say?
No,
I
they
said
played
they
lovely
played well in
football.
the first half. I watched the first half of that game. They played well actually.
And that was
But I
all
agree with
last
Ty.
season. They took an ex-player. They didn't have any money to. They didn't have any money to go out to actually go out and pay a big coach's salary. So they were like, okay, let's take this ex-player and let's make him the coach. All of a sudden, they start picking up results. This coach said, all those old bullies in the squad, we're gonna let go of them. I'm only gonna use the youngsters, and that's why you guys are now linked with Javi Guerra. That's why we're looking at we're looking at their left back currently because they have an entire squad just of youngsters. They have four wingers in the squad. All four of their wingers come from the academy, and that's how quiet. That's how quiet he's building up the squad now. So like, what about your side,
What is the
Ahmed?
condition of Yamal's father at the moment?
The last I
Condition.
heard, he's recovering. Yeah, because they shot him in the parking lot.
Mm.
Yeah, he
And
got
last I
shot.
heard that he is recovering. He's recovering.
Okay,
That's the last that I heard.
that was a really
But-
tragic news.
Yeah, it was really, really sad actually. I was shocked. Ty, to get back to you, I'm not happy with the performance, but I'm happy with the result because you kind of still see a little bit of reason that stray passes in the mid, that long passes that goes to nowhere.
Yes.
It's frustrating because why when you the people who knows Barcelona knows that we keep the ball. Now when you look at Barca and you see these passes in the middle of the park going to nowhere, and we lose we turn around and we lose possession. It's sad to see actually. So it comes back to what you said. If we don't sort it out now, it's going to be a problem
Exactly.
because if we're going to play the team that's going to count us properly, which there is a lot of the season, it's going to become a problem. But Bernal is probably the closest thing to Busquets I've ever
Yeah.
seen. His stats is insane. 94%.
Devin, another
passing
17-year-old in the squad.
Another 17
Another 17-year-old.
Lopez.
We struggled so much to find someone. We tried to play Mayo there, we tried to play Frankie there.
Mark Bernal.
We tried. Mark Bernal is
Bernal, yeah. Very good
insane. He's insane.
That's a
He's the
serious
closest
player.
thing that I've seen to Busquets with that
Yeah.
same type of passing touch feel. Because why? Oriol
So you
Romeo
don't think
couldn't do it
Casado
from
has
outside.
that? I want you
Arsenal
finish
tried
in the
to
squad.
sign him. Are you aware, Davey?
Casado is not bad at
Arsenal
all.
tried to sign him.
Love Casado. Like honestly, it's just something of
Arsenal tried to
Casado
sign
reminds
him,
me a
but
little bit of
Hansi
Gavi.
Flick
He
persuaded
has
him to stay.
He does, eh?
That hungry player. Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly, I can't wait to see the two of them play next to each other, Gavi and Casado, because I can picture two little Golo Kantes in my squad. Whenever the ball goes somewhere, they're just chasing.
Let's
You
say
need
so.
experience. You need experience in the team. You need experience in your
But
squad.
that's
That is
actually
true.
funny enough. It's cool that you're mentioning that because that's actually a point that I was going to make to Bram earlier when Bram spoke about Henderson. Because a lot of times we do say experience is needed, but the experience thing can also go the other way. Because like I know people are looking at City now specifically is looking at Gundogan coming in, and Gundogan, yeah, he was at the squad last season. It's going to be brilliant. Gundogan wasn't necessarily the best person in the dressing room at Barcelona, and he was signed in order to be the experience there. And actually, funny enough, that's where you can see the other side of it. You can see a player that's bringing the entire dressing room down, who's Like I said, I'm like, some people see it as, yeah, it's good that he points out certain mistakes in that, but then it's not necessarily good when you catching on where you trying to get aggressive in the dressing room with Araujo, and now Araujo wants to hit you, and now all of a sudden now that's creating a bad
Yeah.
atmosphere at the club. So like, unfortunately, I do understand that we do actually like, there is a need for some type of experience in there, but at the same time, it's also like a thing of, now I'm more skeptical about it because of the fact that if you look at it, our young centre back that played the other day was Pau Kabasi. No? And if Pau Kabasi comes off, we have Eric Garcia or Mikel Faye that plays in that position. The experience there was Inigo Martinez, and he was the reason why Valencia scored the other day. He was the weak link.
Yeah.
So this experience
He
there, in
was.
my defense,
Yeah, it
is
depends.
the
Yeah, I
one who's
see where
catching
you.
on shit. Do you know what I
See
mean?
where you.
Now we have
I see where
Gundogan,
you're going with it.
who's also catching on. The player that I always complain to Devi about, even though he scored in the previous game. My first player that I'm like, nah, he's still not doing it for me.
He's
Is
still not
Lewandowski.
doing it.
The
Yeah.
man who turned 36 the other day.
Experience and quality. Experience and quality are two different things. So when we were talking about Inigo Martinez, is Inigo Martinez good enough?
Okay,
No.
no, but then again, if you think about the other two, think about Gundogan and think about Lewandowski. Lewandowski is exactly the same. Like, honestly, I genuinely feel, and I feel as though he has there's always been players at Arsenal all the years that my brother and Devon has always spoken about. It's kind of like when the contracts and stuff are coming up, when the rumors start coming, all of a sudden they start banging goals. It started with Adebayo. Now you're seeing it. Now you're seeing it with Nketiah. It's players that like, and that's what Lewandowski does. As soon as people start saying bad things about him, he scores the odd penalty here, he scores the tap in here. But overall, if you watch him for a 90-minute game, he's not doing enough.
It's horrible.
And then that's the thing. It's like
He's
I can rather
always on the floor.
It happens in
Yeah.
football. I believe me, it happens. The players play for their contracts. But speaking
Yeah.
of which, why are you guys not talking about the whole Danny Olmo situation before we come into the weekend preview? Why none of you
The Almo
mentioned
situation is as follows. We can't register him
exactly?
because we needed to make way. That is why Gundogan left.
But you
Because
still
trust me,
apparently
that
need to
situation
sign
wasn't
one
really
massive
Gundogan's
deal
thing.
with Mike or something like that.
Yeah, but he is
No.
going to be registered before this game coming the weekend. So that is
Yeah,
he's
he's gonna.
he's going to get registered. It's kind of
And
like
we needed to.
the club isn't in
needed
a
to
rush
let
to do it
Gundogan
because they
go.
let them have up until Saturday morning to do it. So it's like they don't need to do it now. They can
Yeah.
just do it Saturday morning.
Saturday morning
Wow.
before 12.
Remember, it's like I told you last time, Davey. It's literally just the thing of the owner of the president of the league just said he wants this thing to stop where clubs come up and then all of a sudden they become bankrupt because they spend too much and stuff. It happened with Rayo Vallecano a few years ago where, actually not a few years ago, this was 2011, where they
2011,
signed
yeah.
23 free agents in the squad. So
Mm.
then they basically did a QPR. They signed all these players who were ex La Liga players, but then it's like we're going to put you on high wages. Then what
High
happened was they
wages,
went
yeah.
to the second division. They still had all these players, and now it's like, oh shit, now they're going to go into not liquidation or something, but like
Administration.
there was a situation with the administration, yeah. So the president wants to stop that. I hate this rule because the thing is that means it's damaging the football in Spain. But I understand what he's doing. He's trying to protect all the clubs, and that's the
I
thing with
complain
Barca.
about this
It's the
rule
fact
every
that
day.
our wage cap is set for Barca. So he says your wages can't be over 200 million within the squad. But now the problem is we're sitting with Frankie de Jong, who's on 35 million a year. We're sitting with
Exactly.
Clement Longley, who's still on 30 million a year. So now it's like we have those two players in the squad, and it's like, they don't want to leave. So we're sitting with 1/4 of our wage cap already gone. So that's why you see Barca doing these certain things, but it's literally just because that's the wage cap in the league. If we don't follow it, then we get kicked out of the league for the season.
Yeah, look, like you said, it already puts you on the back foot, even in Europe as well, because obviously
Exactly.
Eugene and myself, obviously, you know that when the English come with a pound, the European teams can't compete
easy.
with the pound in essence. Do you know what I mean?
No way.
But I think the rules is tougher in Spain than what it is in England. Like it's
England,
so
not in
much more
England.
tougher. And for some reason, it feels like Barca's the only club struggling.
Yeah,
It's like extra rules put on because
I
time
think it's
knows
more highlighted
nobody in
with
Spain likes
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
I think it's more
Nobody in Spain
highlighted.
likes Barcelona.
Yeah, it is more
Nobody in
highlighted.
Spain
Like
likes
Sevilla the
Barcelona.
other day. Sevilla, one of the players that I was shocked to see that they let go of was Acuna, their left back. He's literally the captain of
Yeah.
he's the captain of the squad, but they had to let go of
He's
him
the captain
on a free
release.
transfer. They had to literally discuss the whole thing with him. Oh shit, we actually need you to leave because you want 120,000 a week. But yeah, but the whole thing is because by the end of this month,
I was going to say that.
everyone's wages has to be on the certain level. And the thing is, if every single club is sitting because we have a 200 million, we have 200 million because of our spending over the past 5 years. So now every
Yeah.
other club is also set like that. So Sevilla also spent a lot over the past 5 years, and the junk thing is also they count free transfers, they count all of that stuff into it. So now it's also the thing about estimated market value. So that's the thing that came
Yeah.
in this season, where even if you sign a free agent, it doesn't count as a free agent signing. It counts as what was this player's
That is
estimated
estimated
market
value.
value. 5 million.
There's so much
Okay,
in
so
it,
that's
yeah.
so we're adding that 5 million. So that's the
On your
problem. It's
spending.
like it's a good thing for football, and and remember, if it wasn't a good thing, they wouldn't be speaking about implementing it in England as well. They're already kind of implementing it now in
No.
Germany. And the thing is,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we just so happen to be in a time where English clubs are spending more than ever. You get Italian clubs that are spending more than ever, and to an extent also there's a lot of up and coming French teams also that's spending a lot.
Exactly.
So unfortunately, it just so happens to be in a team where a lot of clubs are spending, and now we're like, Chelsea is spending so much. Why is it not? Why can't we buy? But that's the thing. It's like I can see as time goes on, this rules is going to be implemented in a lot of other
It's
leagues
gonna.
because
No, I agree.
we're having too many stuff like this.
It's gonna come down some eventually. I can see Chelsea also getting heavily points deduction or something. I just don't know when it will be, but we've come up to the
Remember
hour.
last season, Nottingham Forest also. Nottingham Forest definitely because
Forest and Everton got deducted points,
Yeah.
but Chelsea and City was spending left, right, and center. I want to come into the
Exactly.
weekend preview, and I want to preview the big game. Eugene, there was something, a lot of topic, obviously, when these two teams play one another. There's always the battle of the managers now. I want to ask a question generally to the panel. Somebody said that Arteta is the second best manager in the Premier League, and obviously because Klopp has left now. So, but you mentioned the fact that obviously he's got Arsenal contending with City and yada yada yada, and the person answered him, counted him back, saying that, "Are you forgetting that Unai Emery is in this league?" Eugene, where do you stand on this one, my brother?
Well, for me, I have to ask the question first. On what grounds, what are the parameters are you using to choose the best manager? Is it in
I'm
terms
with that.
of what they achieved in terms of trophies?
Mm,
If you're talking about Arteta and Unai Emery's pedigree in terms of their resume, they are distance apart in that Unai Emery is a far better manager. But when you talk about the Premier League, what they have achieved in the Premier League, at the moment, it's Mikel Arteta. But if you look at, I'm a huge fan of Mikel Arteta. He has managed to evolve Arsenal starting from the 21-22 Premier League season. Teams have tried to figure out Arsenal, how they play, try to stop Arsenal, stop them from contending for the title, especially this season. Teams try to crowd Arsenal because the midfield is Arsenal's greatest strength in terms of going forward. And he has deployed a tactic such that the wingers create enough space for them where players who try to suffocate the midfield players lose control of the ball and they launch crosses in the attack, and that was where Kai Havertz's goal came from against Wolves. So if you look at these tactical elements, I believe that Mikel Arteta is miles ahead. Unai Emery is the manager of Aston Villa. Obviously, in terms of quality, in terms of uh, depth, Arsenal and Aston Villa are not are different. So you could change these managers. You could have these managers swap places. Now, is Unai Emery going to be able to do what Arteta is doing at Arsenal? That's a question for another day. So for me, if I have to pick the best manager, I'll say it's Mikel Arteta because Unai Emery had his chance at Arsenal. What did he win? Mikel Arteta managed to win the FA Cup, though it's not enough as an Arsenal fan. I want more. And Mikel Arteta is in that position where you can argue that Unai Emery was not given enough chance. He was not given enough backup in terms of signing of players, in terms of finances. But Mikel Arteta has not done anything to argue that he's second fiddle to Unai Emery. I believe that time will tell who the better manager is. Going to this game against Aston Villa, I don't think that there is a better test to Arsenal's title ambition than Aston Villa in the weekend. Remember that we managed to fire blank against them last season, both home and away. And Unai Emery has managed to figure out Arsenal's tactics. And that is the change that is very, very pivotal in what Mikel Arteta has deployed in preseason. If you watch Arsenal's game critically in preseason. So if you're asking about who the best manager is, I'll say Mikel Arteta.
I like that, Eugene. I like the fact that you're one of the first Arsenal fans that I've actually heard like openly speak positive things about Mikel Arteta, because we always have this old grump Devon that's saying bad things. Arteta must go. Thank you for actually speaking the truth, Eugene, and for saying he's a good coach.
Arteta is cooking.
Well, I agree to a certain extent.
Arteta's tactics this season is quite different from what he deployed last season.
Exactly.
But people don't know that. There are a lot of fans who just come to watch football, and when things go wrong, they start hitting out at the manager. You don't know what is going on. You don't know tactical football.
I always told Devon that I think Arteta is genuinely a brilliant manager.
Master plan. Wolves came with a master plan in the weekend to stop Arsenal from playing. Where did the goals come from? They came from the wings, from Bukayo Saka. And you can see that Bukayo Saka was left in no man's land. And that was how he managed to connect the cross to Kai Havertz. Because Odegaard is the chief orchestrator of Arsenal's midfield. If a goal is going to come for Arsenal, it's Martin Odegaard, majorly.
He's somewhere involved in the goal,
a lot of teams have found that out. And Mikel Arteta is aware of that. You will see where goals would... Listen, Arsenal have scored so many goals from set pieces last season. Okay?
Exactly.
And it is quite different. It is quite different. Yeah, it's not. You will see more set piece goals in play, not even from corners or from free kicks. In open play, you see a lot of set piece goals. I tell you, you will come back to this stream and remember. So
one of the stuff that I always
Mikel Arteta is a different manager to Pep Guardiola, undermining the fact that he learned a lot from Guardiola. I have not seen a manager do what Mikel Arteta is doing in this Arsenal team. I have never seen a manager do it for another team. It's easy to figure out
one of the stuff that I always preached back in the day to Devon was the fact that
it's easy to figure out what Guardiola wants to do, all right? But what Arteta is going to do this season, I have not seen another manager do it.
Go ahead, Ty, before I go. Go ahead.
So for me, I think Arteta is
hacking for a few seconds.
I think Arteta is the manager for me.
Look, for me, again, go ahead, Ty. Are you going to say something? Go ahead before I say why I disagree. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say is this was something that I've been thinking for a while. And the thing is, Arteta is genuinely a really, really good coach. Like on the verge of brilliant. Like Arteta's a brilliant coach. The only thing that always stands in his way is he's very stubborn. He's a stubborn manager. Like as in, if he's the guy where you're complaining about Raya in the polls, he's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna play Raya for the next 6 games in the polls. I want this English boykie to sit on the bench. He's the guy where you're calling out for Stagger. He's like, no, I'm rather gonna do something else. I need a defensive midfielder. No, but it's fine. Party that has one leg that works can rather be our defensive midfielder. And that's the only thing that I think has always been Arteta's downfall with regards to his squad. He's very he's so focused, he's so fixated on small little details, and I mean ultimately that's the thing that cost him in so many
The
of the
title.
games previously that ultimately hurt him in actually going for the title. If he can
Mm.
sort that out, and he can be open to changing, he can be he's okay to adapt on the fly,
Mm.
then I think Arsenal will really be on the next level. But it's just that thing that's always bugged me. Like you you can see you have
Would you
Nketiah
say he
and you have
overthinks it,
Balogun
guy?
on the
Would you
bench.
say he overthinks
You're the
it?
guy that's like, nah, Nketiah must come on.
Would you
He
say
does
he
overthink it.
overthinks it? Mm.
Why overthinks it?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Why would you specifically say that he overthinks it? Why would you
Well,
why use that
I'm
word?
looking specifically again at the week that became unstuck against Bayern and Aston Villa. Why would you slot Kai Havertz back into midfield when Kai Havertz was doing so well up front?
Oh yeah, I can
When was
actually
that?
yeah, I can
When was
actually
When you
agree
when was
played
on
Villa
Bayern
and you
Arteta
played
against
now.
Bayern Munich away, you slotted Kai Havertz back into midfield. When we lost 2-0 to Villa and against Bayern Munich away, he put Kai Havertz back into midfield when Kai Havertz was scoring goals up front. Again, now this is actually a thing where
who would you have had in midfield?
why not play Jorginho? I'd have Jorginho even on midfield on the weekend.
That's not a bad
I'd have
choice.
The
that.
serial winner,
Look,
that
it's
experience.
hindsight. It's hindsight. Look, it's done. But again, I agree with to a certain extent with Eugene. I agree with it. But my question is, look what Una Emery has done in the Europa League with that teams that he's had. And another answer to that is the players that we are excited about now with
Listen. Sorry,
Arsenal. Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
That was why I said. That was why I said. If you're talking about the Premier League,
Mm.
but in general, Unai Emery has a better resume. They're not comparable. You know
I'm not
what
talking.
Unai
Yeah.
Emery has done in Europe is unprecedented. You know, I give him his flowers for that. But in terms of the Premier League, what Arteta needs to be a juggernaut in football is the trophies.
Mm. There
And
we
I'm
go.
sure that
100%.
they are very close. Arteta is
Mm.
a brilliant manager, and he's got a lot of time to prove
Look,
doubters wrong. Doubters like
that's the
David.
thing. Time
They've
was on his side because let's be honest, if it wasn't for Unai Emery, we wouldn't have seen Saka, we wouldn't have seen Smith Rowe. We have
True.
Saliba now, we have Martinelli. That's a Unai Emery's. Those are Unai Emery players, by the way. If you think
I
about it.
agree. That's true.
But I
Do you see
genuinely do wonder about
Yeah.
Unai. Like genuinely, Unai Emery.
the FA
Because
Cup team that Arteta, the team that Arteta won the FA Cup with, that's a Unai Emery team.
like the reason not that, I just mean the reason why is because I sometimes wonder this about certain managers like Unai Emery. Liverpool were looking for a manager. If they had to get Unai, I wonder if his version of football, his brand of football would translate to a bigger club. Because at the same time, Unai, he
He
does
was at
always
PSG.
shine
You
when
going to the
he
PSG. You're going
coaches.
to the PSG one now, no?
No,
Unai Emery is
it's
the
in
reason.
general. Like in the I think it's 6 clubs that he's coached so far. 2 of those clubs were big. Both of those clubs he failed at, which is obviously Arsenal and PSG. The other clubs he shined at all of them. One was getting into La Liga. Then he left them, and I think from there he went to Valencia, and
Mm.
then from
No,
Valencia he went to
Villarreal.
Sevilla.
No,
Sevilla,
Sevilla.
he went to
Sevilla.
Villarreal, Sevilla,
PSG.
Valencia,
PSG to Arsenal, and
PSG,
then he
and
went there. So
Arsenal.
he shined at those clubs, but now it's like it's kind of like maybe mid-table play. Like he's a mid-table side. Big when the big clubs play against me, all I have to do is I have to focus on counter-attacking football. Like I genuinely do wonder if he would survive at the Liverpool. If United like don't turn out tomorrow, I wonder if he would take over there.
Unai
And
Emery
that's
will
the
fail.
thing.
He will fail at Liverpool. Unai Emery will fail at Liverpool. Unai Emery has flaws. Davy, you are pointing at Arteta's flaws. Do you know what Unai Emery's flaws are? Unai
Too
Emery is a
pragmatic.
manager that will be in a winning position, like winning 3-0, and come back to lose that game.
Mm.
Unai
I know
Emery
what
is
you
a
mean.
shit manager, my brother. I will not take Unai Emery back at Arsenal. I'll pick Arteta over Unai Emery 100 times.
So, I know
Emery has
exactly what you mean. You don't have to remind me that Watford, if I think of it, the Watford is a perfect example when you're leading 2-0 and got
Yes,
peppered in a second. Of Watford is a perfect example. I agree with that.
very
But it's gonna
lackadaisical manager.
but it's a perfect
Yes,
segue. Prediction, gents. Eugene, prediction for Saturday, my brother.
it's gonna be a very tough game. We were linked to two of their solid midfielders, Onana and Yuri Telemans. And listen, Unai Emery will speak to these guys. They will sit back behind the center backs. They will want to stop Arsenal from playing. But I'm sure we'll get the win 2-1 Arsenal.
Fair enough. Ahmad,
But he must not Zinchenko must not be in the starting 11, please. I
I
won't
was
be
about
renting
to
back
come
after
on to
that.
that. I was about to ask you.
Yes.
I was about to ask you because
Apologies.
that's targeting. Now let's be real. Teams target Zinchenko. Let's be honest. Teams target Zinchenko.
Yeah. Zinchenko is
No, they
going to
do.
figure this season, but not in games like this particular one, Aston Villa.
Yeah, look,
Zinchenko
you
is
know
not
what?
going to be. He's not going to be in that game.
I hope not. I would play me personally. I would play Timber. I would just the only two changes I would make is Timber, and Jorginho even for Partey because something just
No, I disagree.
Partey.
Party for me. It's party for me.
You going?
It's party for me.
Say no more.
Remember Arsenal Tottenham and the Emirates last season.
The one that we.
Jorginho,
Okay, that's one
Huh?
mistake. Then I could even go back to West Ham and 2 seasons ago.
Who says it
Partey
cannot
when
repeat
Declan
itself?
Rice.
Who says it cannot repeat itself on Saturday?
That's
I'll
one mistake
I'll
of
go party.
Jorginho. I was like,
I'll go with
me.
party, please. Yeah,
Okay.
it's party
Let's
for
see.
me.
Let's
It's
see.
party for
We'll
me.
watch the game together on Saturday, so we can have lots of fun.
I'll be
Ahmad,
at
how do
the
you see
club on
that?
Saturday. I'll be at the club on Saturday.
I'll also be there. I'm definitely there for that one. I'm definitely there. Definitely. I missed the
Yeah,
past
sure.
weekend because of the weather, but this one is a big one. I'll definitely be there. Ahmad, how do you see this one going?
Yeah.
The Arsenal game.
Yep.
This is a high scoring game, my man. This is 3-2 Arsenal.
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't think my
I'm thinking
heart
the
can
same
handle
thing.
that. I like a nice,
This is-
comfortable
I'm saying the
2-0
same thing,
boring. I like boring. 2-0, 1-0. Stink the place out. I like such victories away from
Nah, I
home.
think this is gonna be the game is gonna open up, man. It's gonna open up. It's gonna be nervy in the beginning. It's gonna open up. It's gonna open up. It's a 3-2. It's gonna be a smasher. It's gonna be
Leon
a smasher.
Bailey, a huge threat, man. Leon Bailey.
Let's see.
But
Ty?
Timber will be enough for him. Timber is going to be equal to Leon Bailey.
That's the
Honestly,
Ah,
I'm
Bailey
hoping
is
for a nice.
Bailey is my worry. That's the thing. Only that left side. That's my only worry.
I'm hoping for a nice end-to-end game. Hopefully, Clone attacking and stuff to happen. Like honestly, I'm just looking for some excitement because
It's
it's
gonna
two
be
teams that literally want to attack each
tough
other. So
game.
that's what I'm hoping for.
Tough game.
I'm gonna go for a
Nervy
3-1 result. Arsenal. I think Arsenal's gonna take a 2-1 lead late on in the game. Then they're gonna get that 90th minute goal, and then they're gonna seal the game 3-1.
I also see a high scoring game. I don't see like a 1-0
Perfect
or draw or
prediction.
something. I see a lot of attack. I see open play because
Kai Havertz
there's so
hat-trick.
many exciting players in the game. Guy, score. Goals is gonna come from Saka and in the midfield.
I don't care who scores, honestly, as long as we just get the
Maybe it's gonna be
result.
Thomas
because-
Partey that's gonna score.
Hey,
But my luck
the
That
Rangers-
is the result.
the Rangers, the
As long
Rangers.
as I-
Partey and
And remember,
Zinchenko.
David,
That's gonna score your goals.
Oh,
it's
the
the beginning.
Zinchenko.
Remember, it's the beginning of a very crunch 4 weeks for us now. You know that?
I was about to mention that now. I was literally
Brighton,
about to mention that now. It's
So you have to
big.
start it off perfectly.
Tottenham, and Manchester City.
We have Spurs and Manchester City also to come all away from home after Brighton as well.
Away.
So this
big
is your game where you need to get that
Yeah.
goals flying. You need to get some good spirits in the squad. That's this game.
Look at it like
even
this.
to be honest with you now. Hey, sorry, what were you gonna say, Nadi?
No, go ahead. To be honest, I was listening to you. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was gonna say was even earlier when we were speaking about Solanke, I genuinely think like come the end of the season, Solanke, if things goes their way, remember Tottenham was the same side last season. Where the only thing people were saying is Tottenham are playing such good football, they need a striker. When it came to January, because Richarlison wasn't really performing beginning of the season, and then when it came to January, people were like, "Hey, they need a striker. Who are they going to sign? Timo Werner." So now, genuinely, with Tottenham, if Solanke works out, remember there's a reason why he scored 19 goals in the league last season, and I mean he didn't have the best performance in the first game of the season, but people have to remember the man signed on the 10th of August. He played his first game on the 17th or 18th of August. So he was only training with the squad for literally a week. His thoughts is, yeah, I'm the big money signing this thing. They playing me. Let me just make sure that I know get some shots off. Hopefully I get a goal. So realistically, I feel like you're gonna see a total difference in their game against Everton. And I feel like if Tottenham is my dark horses this season to really go and push for the title just because of the fact that they do have a solid squad. And if they can just figure out that cycle, because there's also like I think back to last season with Xavi, when the fans and the media was against Xavi, he pointed out one statistic. He said, "I'm the coach of the club. My job is to make sure that we get chances. As soon as that happens, it's up to the players on the pitch to go and finish the chances." So then he pointed to a statistic when we drew 3-3 against Almeria. He said we created 20 chances in that match. Almeria created 4. They scored 3 goals. We scored 3 of ours. But it's like, if we scored all 20, we should have had 20 goals. So it's like Tottenham are doing something right by playing attacking football. They really go at you. And that's one of the stuff that I like about Tottenham now. It's really a thing of they don't mind if they push up. They just want to get in your box. So if Solanke works out, I genuinely think he can be one of the surprise signings.
They will score goals.
Yeah.
They
He can be
will
one of
score
the real
goals.
surprise signings where everyone, I genuinely think there's a time at the end of the season, if he kicks off, then every club is going to be looking at like United. Why did we sign Xerxes? We could have gone for him. Chelsea, oh, we still don't have a striker. Why didn't we go for him? Arsenal, we needed a striker. Why didn't we go for Solanke? I think there's a possibility of that this season.
No, say no more. And how do you feel about your game? Barcelona, Bilbao?
We must beat them 5-0.
Nico.
I want them to score, and they must go in front of Nico Williams. They must laugh in his face. Because
You're salty.
I'm a bitter fan. I'm bitter.
Wow.
The 5-0 win.
You always win them. No
You
matter
win
how
them.
bad you are.
Unless, now we don't always win them. If we play them in cup finals, then we lose.
Cup finals,
Yeah,
yeah.
the league, yeah.
They're the winners of last season.
Yeah, they won it last year, yeah. Ahmad, how do you see it going?
Honestly, I want them to beat I want them to beat Bilbao just so that Nico can at least have a bitchy doubt in his cup and he can be like, yeah, I have a few more days to still sign for Barca.
I feel the same way. I think we're gonna see a different Barca. I think it's gonna be a smashing. I think Hansi Flick just needs a little bit more time with the team because the preseason he played La Masia. It was literally La Masia playing with Lewandowski and Balde. That's what it was in the preseason. So I don't think the team together had time to group and train together or play together. I think he's still figuring out his combos, and I think Bilbao is the perfect team to do that. Bilbao is the perfect team to go out and tell Bernal, strat your stuff, Casado, strat your stuff. Lamine Yamal obviously to do what he wants to do, but I think if we can just have the structure in the midfield, because look, on paper our midfield looks okay. On the field, it's a whole different stress you have when you watch Barca and you see that passes go straight in the midfield and you look at, and you wonder yourself, how do passes go astray in the midfield? We know what these players are capable of, and then when you look at the shitty football, and I still wonder like how we won that game, our very first game. I still wonder. I sit there, how did we win this game? We got luckier way too many times. So if the midfield, the only way where I will feel confident is if I have Pedri, if I have Gavi, and if I have Frankie. If I can three to play together, now I have technically my strongest mid, and we're going to throw in Dani Almo most likely on the left or something. He's not going to play center attacking mid. He's not going to play in that mid. He's most likely going to play on the left. And then I can fully sit and see what am I capable of. For now, I'm just need to scrape through and see what I can get. But Bilbao 4-0, easy.
Love. Final thoughts. Give me your final thoughts as well, Ahmed. Love for jumping on the show on the tippy toe, but like you said, always good chatting to you,
You
my
know, I'm
bro.
always here. And I get Ty's here, then I have to be here because Ty is like Christmas. You get him once a year. So,
I like that.
so no, final thoughts on everything. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown. Arsenal, solid striker. They most likely win the league. Period. I've said it last season before. No, they need to bulk up the squad. They need to have backup. They need to have that. They need to have that. They've got that now. They've got that now. You guys have the money. Transfer window's running up. Just get a striker, make it work. You guys have the midfield to give him the ball. Just finish. With Tottenham, it's also with Tottenham. It's also a fact of it's game week one. We cannot look too much into game week one. As much as we like to, we cannot look
Exactly.
too much in game week one. Players are still finding their feet. New players are still settling in. New coaches are still settling in. New tactics are being implemented now only for the first time in a real game. So I think Tottenham later down the line, we're going to see a lot more goals coming from them because we know they're the attacking team, but we know that Solanke can finish. Just need to be patient. You can't. The pressure of football and media is so much these days compared to 10, 12 years ago. 50 mil signing, he's expected to perform on his first day. Mbappe was expected to perform on his first day in the league, and he didn't. So at the end of the day, we just need to give time. We can properly say after 10 games what we're looking at.
No,
Closer
that's
to
the reason
Christmas,
why.
we can sit with.
That's the reason why I didn't. I usually have man of the week and flop of the week, but I think it's still too early to call. I might bring that segment. I might bring that segment back next week when Liverpool play United because Ahmad or Aslam asked there why is there no Liverpool supporter. Don't worry, next week Liverpool play United. This stream will probably be majority Liverpool and United supporters, so don't worry, my brother, we'll be there. Eugene, your final thoughts, my brother.
I
Sorry.
think I think Arsenal's striker signing will be part of this season's transfer deadline day drama.
I hope,
And
my brother. I
the
hope.
striker we're going to be signing is the striker we're going to be signing is Victor Gyökeres of Sporting. Mark my
I would love that.
word.
Is that your final thoughts? Love for jumping on, made your debut on the
Barring
show.
any PSR fears, barring any breaking of PSR rules, I think we're going to be bringing Gyökeres in at Arsenal.
You guys are very in love with Gyökeres, a player that's coming from the Portuguese league. When last did we see a player shine from the Portuguese league?
You know what it is. You know what it is. I'm willing to take more of a risk on him. That's
Pedro
what, and it gives us a,
Pedro,
he'll give
where
us
did
a
Pedro Porro
different.
come from?
But
You know,
remember, if you don't want to spend the money on him, and in the first conversation that you guys are having in a month now, when he's not scoring, is the fact that now we spend all this money on a striker. We could have just got someone from the Premier League, someone with Premier League experience.
Have you watched Gyökeres play? Have you watched
Nah,
Gyökeres play?
he's got put his
Yeah,
three
no,
goals
I
into
have watched him. The
Gyökeres
thing is
is
also the reason why I'm saying this
player.
because I've watched other Portuguese players play from that league, and it's very easy to shine in that league. It's the same thing like when you're talking about Donny van der Beek in an Ajax squad in the Eredivisie. It's the level when you jump up is so much. Now I'm thinking about the fact that you're putting the pressure on a player that's going to be a high price tag. He's going to be coming to the squad, and then on top of it, also he's going to be leading the line for Arsenal. So it's like
if
not
I
necessarily
ever
guaranteed
can,
that he is going to kick off. Like technically, I'm being honest. If I had to choose between a striker for you guys, I'm like I'm not the biggest fan of Tony, but if I had to choose
And
between
to be
Tony
fair-
and Gyökeres, I would choose Tony just because you kind of have an idea what he's going to give.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And then sign Victor
To be fair,
Gyökeres
I was watching,
on the side and groom him in.
Eugene, you were gonna say
To be
something.
fair,
There?
I was watching Gary Lineker's. I was watching Gary Lineker's. Let's be fair. I was watching Gary Lineker's podcast, and they were talking about: are there really world-class players anymore in football?
Exactly.
Who are the world-class players right now in football? There are no more world-class players. there are failed. There are more failed transfers in recent times than transfers that have gone down well, and it's really a serious problem that people are not really addressing.
It's true. Football
You
has
know, we
fallen off.
talked about Joao Felix. You
Mm.
know, this is a player that was started to be the next big thing from Benfica. Just see how things have panned out for him.
Yeah.
And it has gone
Fair
on.
enough.
It keeps going on and on. You know,
True.
players are being hyped just for the market.
Now the market is shit.
Like when Brazilian players are signed,
You know,
that's
players
also
are being
that's
hyped
one of the problems that I have with
today
that.
just for the market. The market has turned into something else. Look at Hendrick.
Yeah.
Another one. Aslam mentioned him
It is
earlier.
what it is, my brother. Yeah. It's just
Nah,
a matter
fair
of how these players can be managed.
True.
Yeah.
Ty, your final thoughts? Are you still with us? Ty
I'm
still with
definitely
us.
still with you, James. Sorry, I think the Wi-Fi was just bugging a bitchy. Yeah. You guys hear me?
Your final thoughts?
We can hear you.
Yeah,
We
but
can
it's
hear
like I
you.
think the Wi-Fi is just bugging here, bitchy. So my final thoughts is like the amazing Ahmad said, like genuinely, it's been the first week. It's been an exciting time because finally football is back. But realistically, there's a couple of things that we can do from this, but realistically, it's not that much. So the season is still long. I'm just excited that the football is back, and now I want to see like what's gonna happen next. So like since we can't judge of the first season, Arne Slot still has a whole lot of time to flop as a manager at Liverpool. Arsenal still has a lot of time to sign a solid striker up front. Man United still has enough time to lose 3-0 this weekend, and then all the United fans can come back down from heaven and they can feel like they can wonder, why did we sign all this Bayern rejects into our squad? There's a whole lot of beautiful things that's gonna happen this weekend in football, and genuinely I'm just excited to be a supporter of this beautiful sport.
I love, man. I couldn't have said it any better. So, yeah, peeps, we've come to the end of the show. I want to big up everyone in the chat. Wow, first show back, and you guys really, like I always say, as big up to the guests as well for my keeping the chat going. The comments also bring the heat to the show. So, big up everyone in the chat. Big up Ahmad for jumping on late, as well as Ty also bringing the heat. And of course, our debutant Eugene. Hopefully, to see you back soon as well. People, you know what to do. Link to Eugene Talks Football and Total Tide Talks is in the description. It's on your screen. It's in the comment. It's in the title of this video. And yeah, it's DVD. It's Eugene Talks Football. It's Total Tide Talks. It's the Spanish pundit Ahmed. Love for the love. We'll see you. We'll see you here next week. And we are out of here. Bless people.